But we're going to tip things off with a discussion of the latest reveal from NBA 2K, NBA 2K18, of course, and that is that there's going to be a Canadian cover of NBA 2K18, and the first player to appear on this first Canadian cover is DeMar DeRozan, who, as you may well know, Ben, is not actually Canadian himself, although he
Yep.
does play for the NBA's lone Canadian team, the Toronto Raptors. So, yeah, interesting that they're doing a Canadian cover this year.
Yeah, kind of pointless, but I suppose if they're willing to throw their money around, and I think which could potentially go to other things like service, but but yeah, I think yeah, I don't know. It seems kind of pointless. I know they've got like a fairly big lineup of people in that who obviously are of NBA players who obviously help market the game and that. So yeah, I don't know. It just sort of seemed weird, given that it's you know basically just a quick step over the border in that sense.
I mean, we certainly don't want to say that Americans and Canadians are the same. That would be like saying Australians and New Zealanders are the same, and none of those four nations want to admit any similarities, despite
Yeah,
despite the fact we're all pretty similar to each other and Britain, for that matter, in many respects. Not surprisingly, given our shared heritage in that respect.
that's true.
I guess if it was somebody like an Andrew Wiggins, Joel Anthony, Canadian, if
Isn't
if,
Anthony Bennett as well?
yeah, but that's probably not something we're going to focus on. Not like the greatness of Joel Anthony.
That's true.
Yeah, if it was an actual Canadian citizen, a Canadian player, you could see, if they have put Steve Nash on the cover,
Yeah.
for the Canadian Legend Edition. So it is a strange move, as you say, that they kind of do that. I mean, they always have the North American, the US and Canadian cover, and sometimes they've had the other international covers as well. But yeah,
I can understand like a Europe one, obviously, because
sure.
different market entirely. But given that, yeah, given that Canada's like basically attached to the US in terms of landmass and that, and given that
It's
they didn't even use an actual Canadian athlete in that, it's just it just kind of seems stupid and pointless in that sense. But whatever.
it's banking on the fact that all of Canada likes the Raptors, and I don't think that is that is true. In fact, we know at least one former resident of the Toronto area, our friend Corey Andrus. He's a Golden State Warriors fan, so he's certainly not going to be enticed by the DeMar DeRozan. But yeah, we know that it is what it is. I guess they're expanding their talent roster. They have the extra covers. I mean, it's another cover to collect, I suppose, if people want to, I don't know, double dip, buy the game more than once to get more than one cover. We actually got to see the new jerseys, I guess, for the Toronto Raptors. It gives us
Well, a Photoshop rendition of it, but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. The Nike the new Nike jerseys, which have also leaked on other sites as well. So I guess we get a glimpse of that. But yeah, apart from that, I guess it's just a collectible. If you really want something different, if you don't like Kyrie Irving, or you don't want to go for the Shaquille O'Neal Legend Edition cover, you're in Canada, you've got DeMar DeRozan as well.
Yeah. Still trying to figure out why, but yeah, it's there for those who would like it, I guess. So yeah.
I suppose you were up the money for the servers, somewhat facetiously, but at the same time, has been traditionally an issue with 2K, sadly. But Charles Barkley talked about what if Visual Concepts were to donate $1 million to the Retired Players Association, he would consider being in the game. He doesn't want money. He just wants them to donate to look after the older players who aren't getting as much money for appearing in the game. So again, is this money that could be going to something better, whether it's servers or or getting Charles Barkley in the game, which I think getting Charles Barkley in the game is a bigger deal than DeMar DeRozan on the cover. With all due respect to DeMar DeRozan, so
Yeah, I agree with that. And yeah, no disrespect to Demar, but yeah, it's
getting Barkley in the game is a big deal, basically.
yeah.
So yeah, like you say, it is what it is. DeMar DeRozan's on the cover. If you are one of our Canadian listeners, Canadian gamers, then that's an option open to you. But otherwise, Kyrie Irving, I guess, is your man, or Shaquille O'Neal if you want to drop that much money on the Legend Edition. Still not sure I'll do that myself though.
No, I think we're just doing what we did last year. Just
Yeah.
get the basic one, and then
VC.
sadly, it's looking that way.
Probably will need to if we're doing 2K promo on day one. I think
Yeah.
so.
Gotta love that cash game of pay $100 or $70-$80 for, or even $90 depending where it is, and then another $20 or $30 just to rank up on the first day. So yeah.
Gaming in 2017, hey?
it's just I'd rather put that money elsewhere. So
Yeah.